St. George is one of the best home bases in the Southwest, and today we're showing you the 5 must-see parks you can visit within a 2-hour drive.
Hi everyone, it's Urmi and Sanjay from Jetsetting with us. We spent a week exploring southern Utah and the Nevada border. We were just amazed at how many incredible parks there are just within about a 2-hour drive of St. George. From world-famous national parks to quiet state parks and desert lakes, this area has something for every kind of traveler.
Before we get started, be sure to hit that like button, share with your friends, and subscribe to our channel so you can catch our adventures around St. George and around the world. That all being said, let's jump into it.
St. George makes an amazing home base for a Southwest trip. You're less than an hour from Zion, 2 hours from Bryce Canyon, and surrounded by state parks that feel surprisingly accessible and relaxed.
Most of these parks are perfect for half-day trips, which means you can mix and match depending on weather and energy. It's also great if you're traveling with parents or anyone who prefers easier terrain. Zion and Bryce have big landscapes, but almost all the parks we'll show today have scenic drives, short trails, and plenty of viewpoints.
So whether you're staying in town for 2 days or a whole week, this list will hit all of the highlights so that you can build an itinerary without spending the whole time in the car.
First on the list is Zion National Park. If you're staying in St. George, it's basically impossible to skip Zion. It's only about an hour away, and once you enter the park, you're surrounded by massive canyons on all sides.
For most of the year, Zion runs on a shuttle system. During peak season especially, we actually recommend parking in Springdale and taking the shuttle to the visitor center and transferring to the in-park shuttle from there. That's going to be a lot easier than trying to find parking at the visitor center lot.
We actually spent 45 minutes looking for a spot within the visitor center parking lot and just wish we had gone to Springdale and taken the shuttle in.
On our visit, we focused on the easy trails and shorter walks. The Temple of Sinawava Trail is completely flat and follows the river toward the Narrows. It's peaceful, shaded, and perfect for families.
We also walked the short path to Weeping Rock, where the canyon wall constantly drips water, and then continued on to the lower Emerald Pool, which adds a nice change of scenery with trees and a small waterfall.
What makes Zion so special is how immersive it feels. You're surrounded by huge cliffs the entire time, and even without doing the big hikes like Angel's Landing or the Narrows, you still get to experience the heart of the canyon.
Zion is the perfect day trip from St. George. It's easy to reach, easy to navigate, and packed with memorable scenery even on the simplest of trails.
Next up is Bryce Canyon National Park. It's about a 2-hour drive from St. George, and it's completely different from Zion National Park. Instead of being inside of a canyon, you're looking down into massive amphitheaters filled with these orange spires called hoodoos.
Bryce sits over 8,000 feet above sea level, so it can be a little cooler than the rest of southern Utah. If you're traveling with older parents or prefer lighter activity days, the overlooks alone make this park worth the drive.
We did the full scenic drive from the visitor center all the way to Rainbow Point. Almost every overlook has something unique. Natural Bridge is always a highlight, and sunset and sunrise points are great for wide open views.
We also hiked the Navajo Loop, starting at 2 bridges and climbing up through Wall Street. Even if you don't do the full loop, walking a bit of this trail gives you a completely different perspective from inside the canyon.
Bryce Canyon is peaceful, colorful, and easy to explore. And much like Zion, it's an easy day trip from St. George, especially if you want something completely different from the Redwall Canyons of Zion and Snow Canyon.
Park number 3 is Snow Canyon State Park, just 15 to 20 minutes outside of St. George. It's one of those places that most visitors will just totally overlook, but it's got these beautiful sand dunes, lava fields, and rolling sandstone that just can't be missed.
Most of Snow Canyon's best scenery is accessible right from the main road. We stopped at multiple pullouts, and each one had something completely different. Dark volcanic rock in one spot, layered sandstone in another, and ridge lines that looked incredible in late afternoon light.
Because the park is small, you don't feel rushed. You can take your time, wander around the rocks near the viewpoints, and get great photos without walking far. It's very approachable for families with young kids or elderly people who prefer shorter outings.
The one trail we did here was Jenny's Canyon. It's short, flat, and takes just a few minutes, but it brings you into a narrow canyon that feels almost hidden from the rest of the park. The walls rise on both sides, and the lighting changes depending on the time of day.
It's the kind of trail that works for everyone. Low effort, calm, and easy to add into any itinerary. If you only have time for one quick walk in Snow Canyon, Jenny's Canyon is the perfect choice.
What makes Snow Canyon so special is that it's got incredible wow factor like the national parks, but it's so close to St. George. You can spend as much or as little time here as you like. It's perfect for a morning outing, sunset drives, or for a relaxed day after you do visit Zion or Bryce Canyon.
And yet, because it's a state park, there are no big crowds and no long lines. It's got easy accessibility, and it's just totally within reach to have an incredible time for a simple day trip. Park number 4 is Sand Hollow State Park, just about 20 minutes outside of St. George. In contrast to the other red rock canyons, this one is a bright blue reservoir surrounded by orange sandstone. It looks perfect in that afternoon light.
When we visited, it was surprisingly quiet. We came on a weekday afternoon and the shore area was almost completely empty. It felt peaceful and open, which we didn't expect since the park is known for being lively on weekends.
Most visitors who come to Sand Hollow State Park are there for water activities. Things like swimming, kayaking, paddleboarding, boating. I think I even saw a scuba diver there actually. The water's warm in the summer, and since the place is relatively quiet, the shoreline has plenty of space to spread out and relax. The other thing is, if you're not into that, the other side of the park has ATVs, and so you can take ATVs around the park as well.
If you're staying in St. George and want a relaxing, low-stress place to sit by the water, Sand Hollow is an easy option.
Park number 5 is Quail Creek State Park. It's also about 20 minutes outside of St. George, and actually a pretty close drive to Sand Hollow State Park as well. It's also another reservoir, but the atmosphere is quite a bit different.
Quail Creek is quieter and more low-key. The water is deep and still, the mountains sit right behind the lake, and overall it feels more laid back. It's the kind of place where you can just bring a chair, sit by the water, and relax.
We didn't go into the paid section on this trip. We actually stopped at one of the free access spots overlooking the lake. But even from the outside, you get a clear sense of what makes this place special. It's wide, quiet, and has beautiful light in the late afternoon.
Many visitors come here for paddleboarding, kayaking, and fishing. Quail Creek is known for being one of the warmest lakes in Utah in the summer. And because it's smaller than Sand Hollow, it often feels much more peaceful.
It's easy, it's close, and it's completely different from the atmosphere you find in the Red Rock Canyons. Whether you're staying for an hour or a full afternoon, Quail Creek State Park is a relaxing stop that perfectly rounds out the St. George area. Before you head out to St. George, here are our pro tips for making the most of your trip. Tip number 1. Mornings and late afternoons are going to be your best friends. Not only is it brutally hot in the middle of the day, but the sunrise and sunset light is absolutely gorgeous.
Tip number 2. If you're planning to visit Zion, just know the visitor center lot fills incredibly quickly. We really regret wasting 45 minutes looking for parking. Instead, we really just wish we'd parked in Springdale and taken the free shuttle from town to the entrance. It really would have saved us a lot of hassle.
Tip number 3. Bryce Canyon sits at about 8,000 feet altitude, which means it does get a little bit cooler, particularly in the fall. Be sure to dress in layers, especially if you're visiting in the mornings.
Tip number 4. The state parks by St. George are perfect for relaxed days. They're close by, easy to get in and out of, and the parking situation is much more simple. There are no shuttles and no long lines to get in.
Finally, tip number 5. If you're traveling with folks who prefer some lighter activity, all of these parks are very doable. While Zion especially is known for some of the tougher hikes, Zion and Bryce and the state parks have a lot to see with just the scenic drives and the overlooks. So here's our overall opinion. We spent 4 days around St. George and were amazed at how much there is to do within such a short driving distance of this town. Bryce and Zion are easily 2 of the best national parks, and 3 incredible state parks nearby make St. George an amazing place for a short trip. For an in-depth jump into each of those parks, we encourage you to check out our previous vlog episodes in which we've linked in the description below. So tell us what you think about southwestern Utah. Did you enjoy this, or do you think it's a little bit overrated? We'd love to hear from you, so leave a comment below and we'll be sure to respond.
And be sure to like, subscribe, and share this content with your friends. It really helps us grow our channel and keeps us motivated to keep creating more content just for you. We look forward to seeing you on our next adventure. Bye for now!